So our next speaker, we're going to show a short clip of a film of his. He first did a very powerful film called Chasing Ice that woke up a lot of people to the issues around climate change, and he showed it through photography, and he's done the same thing now with the issue of fracking and has made a powerful, beautiful film called The Human Element. Let's all hear it for James Balog.
Thank you, Micah. Boy, what a bunch of enthusiastic, passionate faces here tonight. This is great. How many of you have been depressed a little bit now and again? Let's see a show of hands, right? That happens, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, I was having a hard time with that for most of the past 1 year and 7 or 8 months, and 20 years. And it occurred to me one day, driving down past the San Juans actually, that the psychologists say that depression is anger turned inward. Right? That's a common buzz term in pop psychology. Depression is anger turned inward. And I realized that action is anger turned outward. Yeah. And that's why you're all here. And that is a really important thing, and I remind myself of that multiple times a day because I'm constantly kind of going like this emotionally when I read the news and see what's going on. So think about that next time you're in a little bit of a slump. Another thing I want to share with you is it's occurred to me in the past year or so that there's a P word that we need to bring into our vocabulary. And the reason that that's important is that this word that starts with a P has been hijacked by the snarling right wing. And it's been perverted into something that is what it was never meant to mean to begin with. And the P word is patriot. And I realized on the morning of November 9th, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, that I was a patriot. Or November 8th was it? I can't remember. But that dark morning when you woke up after the election, and I thought, that son of a bitch. I'm a patriot, and I'm going to fight for this place. Because I fight for spacious skies and amber waves of grain and the majesty of purple mountains. And the snarling right wing can't take that away from us. That is our patriotic heritage as much as all the things that they painted that word with. We have to remember that. And so you are patriots, and that's why you're here. I'm a patriot, that's why I do these films. That's why I was in San Francisco yesterday with Bill at another meeting, you know, trying to motivate people, raise awareness in education and so on. And now on to this film. The film is called The Human Element, and we just finished it this spring. It's touring film festivals. It'll be on video on demand in January. Basically, the premise of the film is that as we humans change earth, air, fire, and water, earth, air, fire, and water are pushing back at us. And because we're in that dynamic, we have to be looked at as an essential part of the natural system. We are in it and of it, whether we like it or not, whether our millions, thousands of years of heritage have said that or not, we are in it. And we've got to embrace that and work with it. So the film will actually be at the Alliance Center on, what is it, John, October 29th, I think?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, and it will also be at a meeting of the E2 group December 2nd, but it's been screening around Denver, Boulder quite a bit in private screenings. Eventually it may wind up in a commercial theater, I don't know, we'll see. There's this segment in the film that's all about air and how air is changing, and the entire scene is shot in the Front Range. And we're going to show you an excerpt from part of that section. And we shot it out in eastern Boulder County and in Weld County, right out there in the heart of the oil and gas drilling. And honestly, I wish you could see the whole 20-minute section of this, but we don't have time for it. The short story is I was completely, absolutely, 1,000,000% blown away when I discovered over time how many of those extraction sites there are out there. It is staggering. You cannot comprehend it all until you drive around out there. We live out here in this urban enclave. You get out there in that quasi-rural, more agricultural, industrial enclave, and it would just knock your socks off. Anyway, this segment is what we did with some scientists from NOAA who have been measuring the contaminants in the air out there, and you get a little taste of what we saw and felt while we were driving around. Here goes.
So just to orient your eye, you can see here the different spikes that we're measuring. So this is all going to be traffic related.
We're sure getting a lot of carbon monoxide.
And ethanol and toluene.
Incredible.
We've been using this van for the measurement of volatile organic compounds with about $1 million of custom instrumentation in the back. We're really interested in volatile organic compounds because they contribute to climate change, ozone formation in the atmosphere, and they can become harmful to human health.
So the numbers we're seeing on the screen in there are coming out of this inlet up here?
Are coming from this rear inlet here for all of the instruments.
Let's see what sort of CO2 I add to the atmosphere.
So we got ethanol. That's a common one. Ethanol is found in alcohol, but it's also found in just normal respiration.
Oh, man. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, don't go crazy on us here.
So we're in a good spot, so we'll see if we see anything from this well pad here, which
whoa, there's ethanol.
Ethanol and toluene and a large spike in methane.
When we look at sources of pollution, over the last few years, specifically in the western US, we see that oil and gas exploration are on the rise and contribute to pollution. Also because of population growth, we have a lot more traffic now, we have a lot more people using energy.
An old truck without any kind of air pollution control on it.
A large spike in toluene.
Man, look at that. My God, he's way, way off the top of this chart.
So these pollutants get released into the atmosphere and contribute to climate change. And then, in the presence of sunshine, the NOx and the VOCs react in the atmosphere and form ground-level ozone.
Front Range is still under an ozone action alert until 4 p.m. tomorrow.
The best advice, stay inside.
The exposure to ozone and particle pollution can lead to increased asthma attacks. It can lead to the inflammation of the lining of our lungs. It can increase the risk of heart attack and even lead to premature death.
You know, when you drive in that van past a well and you see the chemicals coming out, and you go, okay, that's that one place, and then we get into the clearer air past where that spike is. You go, well, no, wait a minute, there's 40,000 of those things around here, and you don't know which ones are leaking. And then there's hundreds of thousands of wells all across the country. And then there are all the tailpipes, including my own. And there's all the jet airplanes, including the ones I fly in. And you go, my God, it's just like, it's overwhelming.
We have significantly altered our atmosphere, and we feel the effects of it. And we have to deal with the effects of it.